So which one of these water heaters is going to be the one for you? We're going to go through all of the different options. There's 3 of the Zojirushi and then the 1 Chefman. And the Zojirushis are all very similar. They have a couple little differences, and the Chefman actually has a bunch of really cool things. We're going to go through them all. So we're going to start here in the front. Both of these are the 3-liter Zojirushis. All the functions up top are very, very similar. They hold the same amount of water, but if you've noticed that this one's a little bit taller, and that's kind of nice having it a little bit taller, because if you have something under here or a larger glass that is you're able to actually get it up under there, where this one's the short one. But this one I liked having, and I actually use in my RV because it's so small and compact. I can just kind of bring it to the edge of wherever I need to, and then I get that reach, and it's not a big problem for me. Now, something that all 4 of these things do have is the little thing that goes around the bottom. So when you are using it, and you can maneuver that back and forth, really, really nice. All of the Zojirushis, all of them have this magnetic style plug where it just comes in here and it sits in with a magnet, versus the Chefman has one that you actually have to push in, and it's a regular style plug, which is not a big deal, but it is nice having the little magnetic ones over here. These all 3 have different sound effects during different modes, like when you first put it in and when it first boils. They all have the option to change the temperatures from 160, 75, 195, and 208 degrees. So you can change those. To dispense all 3 of these, what you would do is you would unlock and then actually dispense. If you hold down this button, it's going to dispense slower. It'll put it into the slow mode. That way you can get a slower drip out of there if you don't want it coming out fast. It does have a timer where if you want it to automatically cut off. If you've got a quick boil, that way if you press that button, it'll kind of start getting everything reboiled, especially if it's been sitting for a little bit. You'll want to reboil it. I usually keep mine at 208, and I go through mine every single day. This is the one that I use on the daily basis. This is the one that I usually use in my RV. This is the one that I pull out if I know that we're going to have company. That way we get a little bit more capacity. And this one over here is one that I use usually for travel, if we're doing an event or something like that. All of them have handles, which is really nice. They all have handles. Let's go ahead and get into the Chefman and go through a couple features that kind of set this one apart from the other ones. So this one has 3 different dispensing methods. The first one is there's a button right here. So as you put your thing here, you push it up and it's going to dispense it. The next option is up here is the dispense option here, and you're going to press that. That will dispense it. And then the third option is you can unlock this and actually use this as a press down, and that's also going to dispense it. Now we've got the reboil and lock, so this is going to lock everything out so you can't dispense at all if you need to. To open it, you're going to flip this button down, pull up, and you're going to be able to see inside. And this is a relatively large unit here. So this is 5.3 liters. We showed you the 3 liters before. This one's 5 liters. So you can see the difference where they're very similar in size for liter wise, but this one's way more compact. So all of these are going to require power to get the water out if you want through the dispense. This one has the option where you do not need power to dispense. So if you already had the warm water and you need to go throw it out there and put it somewhere, you have the option to utilize the top to actually dispense the water, and it's going to keep it warm for quite a while. One more feature that these 3 Zojirushis have that the other Chefman doesn't have is the lid comes off here, and it comes off relatively easy. There's a little button here on the side right here, and then you can see inside where it says empty from here, and it's got this little pour spout. So this is really nice to be able to pick up, just pour it out. So I utilize this when I already have these things full and I'm going to make pasta or something, or maybe I want to blanch some broccoli or some green beans, and I've already got them in the pot and I want to pour almost the entire contents out. That makes it way easier to pour it out, and I put the whole thing in the sink, refill it, and then bring it back and let it heat up again for the next round. So I ended up using these things for different purposes. Obviously it's all hot water, so I use it to put it in my dog food in the morning to get their kibble nice and soft, and then I add some ice in afterwards once it kind of softens up. That way it cools it down and it helps hydrate them. I utilize it for cooking. I use it for making tea. I use it for a bunch of different things. Something else that I use these things for is if I'm not feeling great and I need a little bit of like moisture, I kind of lift up here and get the steam up in my face, and that usually helps me when I'm not feeling 100%. And I will usually use one of these that is not being used for the family, and I'll just use it for the steam, then get it nice and clean once I'm done. But yeah, they're all great. They all have their different purposes. They all work good. It really depends on what's going to work for you. I happen to love the Zojirushi brand. That's one of my favorites, but I needed one that was going to be able to use without power. So that's why I had a hero. Now, when I say use without power, it's not going to heat it up, but once it is heated up, you can disconnect it and then utilize the top pump to get everything pumped out, and it works absolutely amazing.